Hello Sagittarius, how are you? Welcome to your reading for your love and general reading for October 2016. Quick note, if you're on Instagram, would love to have you. My Instagram is Jane International, and if I do get around to setting up a Facebook this month, I will go ahead and put the link down below as well. So I'm going to go ahead, jump right into your love reading, Sagittarius, for October 2016. Okay, here we go. Interesting that we have 3 people and 3 court cards here. I mean, the 3 of Cups is such a wonderful energy to have. It's about fun and joy and bringing in the new season and excitement. And I think that maybe there might be a lot of really good things happening this month for you in terms of just friends and your social circle. Also an element of celebration here, a celebration of fill in the blank here, how, something that may be going well for you in your life. Let me think here for a moment, because when I first pulled out this Queen of Pentacles, I did sort of apply that as you, like the minute it came out. But then when I pulled out the King, I kind of was like, well, maybe there's, someone else, or maybe this is you, and then, so, but initially, I feel that this Queen of Pentacles is more your vibe for the month, right? Maybe focusing a little bit more on the home, maybe focusing more on things that are close to you, your friends and your family. And like I said, that celebratory, optimistic, output, I guess, if you will, or that outlook, I think is more going to be associated with things very, very close to you. Now, some of you may have people in your life, right? People that may be special. One person specifically. Right now, I feel that this could be either one person, your significant other, or it can speak to 2 different people if you're dating, if you are in the market, so to speak. And this can represent 2 very, very distinct and almost like opposite sides of someone. I feel like the air and the earth, even though there's no like real opposite, right, quote unquote opposite of any sign, just the colors alone and the earth versus the sky, slow moving versus quickly moving, there's kind of that dichotomy, almost like you're dealing with like 2 different personalities and 2 very different types of people. Now, what's interesting is you have two ways of looking at the world. Now, hold on, I'm sorry. I'm getting too excited here. Okay. I mean, here's you, right? And you are very, very focused on your goals, your ambitions and whatnot, right? I mean, there's very little interaction with these other 2 people here or with your partner, right? They're very focused on their thing, right? They're looking this way, and they are also looking out, not toward you. All right. So I feel as though there's like a separate togetherness happening here, and that you are allowed, or that you are capable of just kind of being your own person and doing your own thing. And that maybe you might have someone in your life or a couple people in your lives that are doing the same thing with their life, and that they are focusing on them, focusing on their goals, yet still remaining in your life in a very light-hearted and joyful way. You know, if you have multiple prospects, or you have a couple people that you're interested in or that you're looking at, they might not be exerting a lot of energy toward you. However, there is still a warmth when they communicate with you. There is still almost like a joyful goodness, I guess. Now, I'm going to change my tone a little bit, because this one is connected with the Death card, right? And the closure of a cycle, or the new beginning of something new. Now, I'm kind of leaning more toward some form of a closure, right? Some of you might be getting out of a relationship with someone, and I feel that this will be an amicable split, that things will be, you'll be nice to one another, you know, and things won't be out of control or very, very dramatic, right? And sometimes, you know, especially with an earth sign and an air sign, it's just a lack of connection. It's just a lack of more compatibility in a lot of ways. Now, obviously, it depends on the whole birth chart and all of this. I'm speaking in very, very general terms. But, you know, these two can very peacefully move in opposite directions, and they aren't necessarily the most aggressive or confrontational signs. So it's like they can just kind of agree to disagree and move on. Now, that being said, if this is obviously your partner, it doesn't mean that you're going to be getting a divorce or you are going to be breaking up for sure. You know, if this does represent one person for you in your life, it can represent a closure of a phase, closure of something, you know, some disagreement or some tension-y kind of issue that you're having, or something else. You know, and the closures happen all the time. New beginnings happen all the time in our lives, in our relationships. There's always new changes occurring. It's the movement and the cycle of life, right? And I feel that there is something here, okay, if this does represent someone else for you, again, I'm feeling is more as like the King of Swords is more of like the partner, all right? And this could be just, you know, an opposite way of how he's living his life. And there could just I'm saying him because it's a male, but he or she, how they are living their life. And, you know, they could really be bringing the best of both worlds, the best of the air qualities and the best of the earth qualities, you know, the terms of strategy and thinking and philosophy, and also the more practical side of actually doing and carrying things out. They could be more of a leader for you, and you more of a support. Okay, now if this is two different people, and I'm sorry, I know it can get confusing and cumbersome, I'm kind of switching back and forth, but I'm really seeing it going both ways. You know, I feel that maybe there's someone that could just be leaving, and there could be someone next to you, but again, you heading this way, them heading this way, and a separate togetherness, you know, like maybe you just are getting along. You know, I'm not seeing any romance cards really. I'm not seeing anything of significance in terms of union or getting together, or in terms of marriage or falling in love, anything like that. It's just kind of maybe people that are already in your life. All right. Now, the Ace of Swords connected with the King of Pentacles. I'm kind of feeling like it's that aha moment, or that moment of clarity and understanding. Now, that moment of clarity and understanding can be their role, you understanding their role in your life, or the defining of a relationship, right? Some of you might be in kind of a limbo, or like we're just having fun, we're just going out, there's nothing serious, there's no labels on anything. Well, I think that maybe that fun, okay, can really just be, you're going to make a definition. You're going to define your relationship. You're going to have a conversation, all right? And you're going to say, you know what? I really want to do this for real. Or no, I really just like this. We just need to kind of move on, all right? And I love the Ace of Swords in a love reading, or any reading really, but in a love reading specifically, because it does promise clarity and understanding. And somehow when we're kind of in these weird limbo relationships, we get very unsettled. And, you know, obviously culturally that may vary from culture to culture, but we need to know where we stand with people. And even though this might be that separate togetherness where you have a very, very independent person that you're interested in, and you are also a very independent entity, it's still good to know that should anything arise, you will have each other's backs. Now, this might be a long time coming, right? Not only do we have the Hangman, but we also have the Hermit. And I feel like maybe this person has been in your life and you have just been having fun. I'm leaning more toward the King of Pentacles here because these cups are sort of rising up here. But again, it can indicate one person or signify one person here. And that this could be either someone going by the wayside or however. I don't need to explain that again, I don't think. But again, a long time coming, especially when we're talking about the King of Pentacles, who is such a slow and cautious person. Maybe not as slow as the Knight of Pentacles, because the Knight's a little bit more unsure of himself. King of Pentacles, very sure of himself, knows exactly what he wants, but he knows exactly what he wants for himself. In terms of himself with someone else, who could be a very, very perfect match, right? Or a perfect partner. I think the formulation of the future is still being created, right? With the Hanged Man. This person, your significant other, the apple of your eye, if you will, is still looking at you and saying, how do I incorporate this person into my life? How do we really take it from an undefined, just having fun, fly-by-night kind of thing and move it into the next realm? How do we define this, you know? Some of you could even be, you know, if you are just sort of approaching that point of marriage, okay, and I know this is very non-romantic, but it is the Ace of Swords after all. This can also signify like a prenuptial agreement at times, okay? Again, that defining aspect of it, so that you very clearly understand what's yours, what's his. And because you're both kind of facing in opposite directions and you're both sort of guarding your own treasure, I feel like that can play for some of you, okay? Not all of you. But again, I would say these are more of the two least romantic of the court cards, right? Instead of cups and wands, which are more emotions and passion, we have pentacles and swords, which is mental and the physical. So it's, again, they need clarity, they need direct definition, they need direct understanding, as just as much as you. But because you are coming out as a queen, queens are more malleable, they're more likely to go with the flow a little bit more so than a king, okay? Again, slow to really understand, slow to really put you in your, and I feel like it's sometimes even it's just like a lack of them really knowing, right? Like they are in some ways kind of fumbling in the dark, and they may even be struggling, or he or she may even be struggling with that closure. okay, or that closing out of a phase. Now, the good news is the Six of Pentacles, right? Which is a card of generosity and giving and kindness. And I feel that this is a very solid relationship, or it could be a very solid relationship, right? If you are in fact moving, if you had multiple people in your life and you are in fact moving forward with this, whoever this represents, solid, right? And if you are moving away from someone, I don't see a lot of grief. I don't see a lot of, sadness or frustration. It's more of a logical choice for you. And that's what the Pentacles are very good at, is practicality and what makes the most sense, right? Same with the Swords. And that this will be a very good give and take relationship, and you will understand each other's needs for freedom and independence while maintaining a relationship. And you may be, kind of figuring it out as you go along, and not only are they trying to figure out your place in their future, but you are doing the same for them. And if you are in a long-term relationship and this signifies your significant other, this is just the next phase, right? We're talking about phases here. We're talking about cycles and closures. And now you're moving into something maybe a little bit more complicated, maybe something a little bit more demanding of your time and requiring more responsibility and bigger obligations, things like that. And again, the defining of those things and understanding what those things are is just a starting point for actually making things happen and having that end goal, and figuring out how you're really going to get there and what this really plays in your life. So I think this is a very exciting reading for you. It's a very quiet reading. The readings for me this month, I don't know about the other tarots. I don't watch other people's tarots until I do my own. But they've kind of been all over the board. And some readings have been really dramatic and had lots of big things happening. And then others have been very, very like this, very, very quiet, very stable. And I feel that you're more on the quiet, stable side, and that things will just very smoothly progress without a lot of turmoil, without a lot of drama. Now, if you are in fact separating from someone, okay, the Knight of Swords, whoever this is for you, if you are in fact separating from them, that may be its own situation on its own, but I don't see your moving forward as being tumultuous, okay? This one, okay. Ah. Yeah, I mean, this is fives in reverse. I love, those are good. Five of Pentacles reverse. I feel like maybe because there was no definition of the relationship, or there was no clarity of the future of how you're going to be moving forward together. Maybe there was a feeling or a vibe or a tension between the two of you of like, okay, well, if we're not going to figure out what we're doing and we're just having fun, then I'm just going to really keep to myself. And you may have felt some sense of rejection on some level, whether great or minuscule. But with the figuring things out, getting things straightened out, and having a mutual understanding of one another, I feel as though that really does bring you closer together, because no longer is that perception so far from the reality. They've sort of met in the middle, all right? And whatever games you may have been playing, those games they're laid out on the table, they've been figured out, and things are, I think they're going to be easier for you. Strength is always a positive omen, right? Strength and willpower. I think your staying power, your ability to stay in someone's life, your ability to continue to communicate, your ability to communicate clearly what it is you want, and your desire to really move forward into a new chapter and to carry you and your, you know, I feel like more your partner might be taking more of a lead, because I do see you as this queen. So you may be coming out more as, you know, waiting for them to really make the first steps. And therefore, that strength and willpower and patience as well, you know, she is in effect taming the beast, right, with her mind. And here you have a beast, the games, the playful dating, undefined dating, things like that. Now, this is someone that doesn't necessarily have a hard time committing. It just takes them a hard time to get to that place where they want to commit, right? This is a very slow moving, slow progressive person. And your patience, I think, has been noted. Your patience has been appreciated and understood, therefore allowing this new phase to occur. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave us with that. I think that was a really great reading. I'm super excited for you guys. Okay. Go ahead and do your generals. Okay. Okay, this is very interesting because I feel that this character is the same character, right? I mean, King of Swords, we're coming, and now you again are coming out as the Queen, but this time in reversal, which makes a lot of sense with that Death card and that connection there and that period of closure. So really for a lot of you, there might really be two people in your life, whether serious or not, but there might be someone that you just connect with more. And I feel that this person is someone that you just are not connecting with. You are not getting through to this person, okay? Or you're just are maybe on very, very different pages right now. There is I feel like she is talking to him. The Queen is talking to the King. And because of her reversal and the strength and the power of the King upright, that the words are kind of getting lost. They're getting blocked, right? The communication and the messages, they are just not, they're not coming to you, or they're not coming to your. Now, this doesn't have to be romance, okay? I'm going to try to keep this not romantic at all, but if it applies to you in terms of romance, that's fine. So this can be, I feel like it's very much a boss, someone that you work with, someone that you respect, someone that maybe even be mentoring you in some way, or someone that you feel like you would like or need validation from as well, such as a father or a mother, okay? Someone that you feel like when you talk to them, you're talking to a brick wall and they do not understand. There is a coldness here about this person, all right? There is a coldness about how they are accepting you, how they are reacting to you. Whatever offers, whatever information, I feel that they are not taking it, leaving you in a very in a very like a very sticky situation. Okay, I'm kind of feeling like this row is you. Okay, this column is you, and I feel like you are in search of peace. right? And you are in search of, and that word validation is coming to my mind, and I have no idea why. The validation of who you are and what you think, and being recognized for what it is that you're bringing to the table. Again, I feel like it's falling on deaf ears, right? They're not accepting it. They're not taking it. They're not listening to it. And a lot of times, this card for me, obviously is more about you and your energy, but it's very much connected with this King of Swords. But in terms of you and your energy, I'm also kind of sensing that because these words are not like your needs and your desires and what it is you think and you feel and your ideas, they're not being heard and they're hitting a brick wall. It's causing you to maybe even just be even a little bit more stubborn and being a little bit more like hanging on to this idea of like you have to get through to them, and you keep trying and you keep trying to get what you need from this person. But they're not participating. They are not engaging in this relationship. They are not participating in your emotional needs. All right. That's the downfall of a lot of the kings, is their selfishness and their stubbornness. Okay. And what it is, and this is all 4 kings, okay, not just the King of Swords, but they do have that, well, it's really my way or the highway. Not always, but surrounded by these cards, I'm going to say yes, okay? And all you're seeking for is to make amends. All you're trying to do is to work out the issues, to work out the problems, to find, like I say, some level of peace, so that you can start fresh, so that you can find a new path, so that you can move on. But I think that this moving on, even though challenging, is almost inevitable. 8 of Cups, right? Here you have your energy again heading here and heading here. And so you are really moving toward this Fool, which goes perfectly with that Death card in the last reading, right? That closure of a cycle and the opening of a new one. And I don't feel like this is really something that you don't want to move on, that there is some part of you that really wants to make things work, that really wants to find common ground with this person, right? Because I'll move these back and this is still very much connected with them. But you cannot have this and this at the same time. It doesn't work. You cannot have someone who is willing and working towards this, and then you have someone who is behaving this way. You might even be behaving a little bit this way as well in terms of your aggression and desire to get through to them, and maybe you aren't really changing how you're communicating with them, therefore getting the same response time and time again. And I feel that there's an essence of failure here, or that you feel that there's failure here, that you feel defeated, you feel depleted and tired. Therefore, you move on. Now, if this speaks to you in terms of a boss, right, or a work situation, or a client, something that is on a professional level, this could be a broken contract, or firing someone if this is actually an employee of yours, or parting ways if your partner's in a project and deciding, you know what, you go do your thing, I need to go do my thing, because we're just not jiving. This just isn't working. The chemistry it's not flowing. You cannot have a king and queen with one of them in reverse. It's not going to work. And there's an element of maybe even anger, right? Anger on your part, in this case, the Queen of Swords, anger on your part, that they aren't listening to you. And sometimes the angrier you get and the more heated you get, the less and less they listen. And all you're trying to do is to figure out a way to make this work. All you're trying to do is to create some level of peace and create a middle point and a middle ground for you to work together. But this is someone that is not willing to listen and not willing to accept your suggestions, your ideas, and what it is that you feel that this needs, or this situation needs. Is your intuition speaking to you? Yes, it is. High Priestess, I love when she comes out, because it, especially for the Queen of Swords, who is, you know, very much a, strength again in the world. Okay, so we have the end and we have the beginning. We had the death in the last reading. I love all the majors happening right here. This is so exciting. It's like a major clump. And then the High Priestess, again, she's speaking to you. Your intuition is speaking to you. She is telling you truths. And the question is are you listening? Because also in a reversal, not only are you not able to communicate effectively, but you're also not listening effectively. Listening to yourself, listening to your heart, to your mind. I think she is telling you that whatever fight this is, whatever battle this is not worth it, and to just move on. And maybe the sooner the better. The sooner the better, because it's not worth the energy, it's not worth the frustration, it's not worth the sadness, and it will take strength from you. Eights, right? We have the two eights. Eights take guts. It takes desire to move away, especially when you're moving away from something that's comfortable, that you understand. You know, if you really aren't getting along with your boss, maybe it's time to start getting that resume updated and getting it out there. If you are dealing with a nasty client, maybe it's time to just cut your losses and cut your ties, because I don't feel that there's a productive outcome for you with this relationship. And with the ending, with the moving on, I feel like a sense of freedom and release, right? That this is a toxic energy, a toxic person in your life that is just not willing to work with you, is not willing to look at you, not willing to listen to your suggestions, your ideas. They are very blocked off, right? They're not participating in what's happening, and they're not participating in your efforts to make amends, your efforts to find that middle ground. So listen to your intuition. I feel that it is speaking to you, but you are not hearing it. Listen to it, be quiet for a moment, and just trust, because that's what strength is about trust, trusting your intuition, trusting and trusting your own abilities to create the life that you want. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that, Sagittarius. I think it's going to be a good month overall. This could be a little bit of a challenge, but a good month overall. And that's it. I will see you next month. Thanks for watching. Bye.